Hello, good morning. My name is Casey Justice, and today for my retail marketing class, I will be addressing the supply chain of selling live animals at pet stores. Live animals, as much as we don't like to think of it this way, is a product sold at many pet supply chain companies. There is often a variety of fish, freshwater and saltwater varieties, reptiles such as snakes, lizards, turtles, and tortoises, small animals like rabbits, hamsters, gerbils, rats, and mice, birds, which are usually parrots, cockatiels, and finches, and invertebrates such as scorpions, tarantulas, and isopods are the most common. There are also live feeder animals, animals that are meant for other animal consumption, usually reptiles. Common feeder animals are mice, rats, goldfish, minnows, and bugs, usually crickets, roaches, worms, or flies. The supply chain of live animals starts with animal breeders as a quote-unquote manufacturer. This happens to be a variety of people or companies, so pinpointing any specific breeder for this supply chain is quite difficult. That's the reason I left it so broad. The wholesaler of these animals, at least the biggest one that nearly all pet supply companies use, is Sun Pet Limited. Prior to Sun Pet Limited, Holmes Farm was the largest wholesaler of live animals to retailers. However, they were forced to shut down their facility amid the very same ethical concerns that I am about to discuss. The final step in this supply chain are the multitude of pet supply stores. You can see that I included PetSmart's logo on the slide, and that's because they are one of the largest pet supply stores that retails live animals from SunPet. Other pet supply stores such as Petco, Pet Supermarket, and even smaller retail stores like Sounds Fishy Aquatic and Exotic Pet Store and Carter's Aquatic, which are both located in Tuscaloosa near me, are listed as retailers that carry the product from SunPet. So what are the ethical issues with this? The biggest issue that Sun Pet Limited has come under fire for on multiple occasions is animal neglect and hazardous working conditions. According to People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, better known as PETA, Sun Pet has been on probation since 2011 for cases of animal neglect. Just last year, in 2021, another investigation was launched on Sun Pet after a former employee documented video and photo evidence of sick, injured, and dead animals in poor living environments. This wasn't just hazardous to the animals either. There was pictures of mold and mildew growing in the rooms where the employees were intended to work. This caused a strain for retailers that relied on SunPet for live animal shipments, earning at a loss due to the months of not being able to acquire and sell any animals in their stores. SunPet hasn't been the only one under investigation either. PetSmart, the largest pet retailer in the U.S., was also under investigation for animal negligence in 2016. Reports were made in 2021 and 2022 that ever since BC Partners acquired PetSmart, budget cuts have resulted in a failure to properly train employees and staff, thus leading to a neglect of animals in their stores. In fact, there has been 2 lawsuits against PetSmart in the last year regarding to staff training. One lawsuit was brought by a former employee of PetSmart, a groomer that claims that PetSmart is trapping their employees with their free training program for dog groomers. New groomers are sent for this free training, then for a probationary period are paid very little for a large amount of work that is oftentimes in a hostile working environment. Dogs can be anxious and lash out, either injuring themselves or the employee, or possibly other dogs in the grooming department. And if the employee were to quit less than 2 years in, PetSmart has sent out bill collectors demanding these underpaid, overworked employees to pay up to $5,000 for the free training. The other lawsuit is a result of the improper training in which a customer's dog died while on the grooming table. PetSmart did an internal investigation on the matter, and it was deemed the fault of the improper use of equipment. Unfortunately, this is only one of 36 reported instances of dogs being improperly handled. The bottom line is that PetSmart is focusing heavily on its own profits with very little thought on the welfare of the animals in their care or the employees working in their stores. What could we see from the supply chain moving forward? Well, amid the investigation brought against SunPet, PetSmart publicly announced that they are no longer receiving any product from them and it will remain that way. Other pet stores like Petco do remain in contract with them under the stipulation that their animal welfare and working conditions have changed. I think that as more lawsuits and investigations continue with these companies, more stringent guidelines and laws will be set in place. both for retailers and wholesalers. There is also a strong possibility that the supply chain will become direct rather than indirect. There are websites such as Morph Market popping up. Morph Market in particular is a website where reptile breeders across the United States and Canada can sell their live animals directly to the customer. Another good example of this is Good Dog. They're a website that connects the customer directly to dog breeders across the United States. I think that this is something that will continue to grow and expand as the demand of pet parents seeking a new household member grows. Well, that's all I have for this video. Thank you for listening and watching as I address the supply chain of live animals and the ethical concerns regarding them. Bye! Have a great day!